Ethan Carter was an ambitious man with a knack for taking risks. One night, as he was driving home from a high-stakes poker game, he was involved in a serious car accident. The collision left him with a severe head injury, and he was rushed to the hospital, where doctors feared for his life. As he lay in his hospital bed recovering, Ethan began to experience vivid, disorienting visions. He was convinced that the head injury had given him an extraordinary ability. He could travel back in time. The idea seemed preposterous, but the visions felt real, and he couldn't shake the conviction that he had a rare gift. With newfound determination, Ethan decided to use his ability to amass wealth. He began by revisiting moments from his past where he had made poor financial decisions. In his mind, he relived and corrected each mistake with ease, placing bets and investments with the knowledge of future outcomes. Within a short span of time, his supposed time-traveling skills led him to accumulate a fortune that seemed too good to be true. Ethan reveled in his newfound wealth, spending extravagantly and enjoying a lifestyle he had only dreamed of. But his triumph was short-lived. The more he used his ability, the more he became paranoid and obsessed. He started to see sinister figures and hear voices that whispered about his impending doom. One night, in the midst of his paranoia, Ethan was awoken by a strange sensation. He was no longer in his luxurious penthouse, but in a cold, sterile room with white walls. The realization hit him like a jolt. He was in a mental hospital. He tried to escape, but the doors were locked, and he was restrained. Desperation turned to horror as Ethan saw the electrodes attached to his head and the machinery that surrounded him. The doctors and nurses who had once seemed like figures of authority now appeared as menacing figures, their faces obscured by shadows. Ethan's heart raced as he was strapped into a chair, and the familiar hum of the electroconvulsive therapy machine filled the room. His screams echoed through the sterile halls as the electricity surged through his body, causing agonizing convulsions. He tried to grasp at the fading memories of his supposed time travel adventures, but they slipped away like sand through his fingers. The sensation of being torn from his reality, the shock treatments, and the cold, clinical environment drove him to the brink of madness. In the moments between the electric shocks, Ethan's mind was filled with fragments of memories, his luxurious lifestyle, his misguided beliefs in time travel, and the creeping sense of dread that had haunted him. He realized too late that his time travel had been nothing more than the delusions of a damaged mind, a byproduct of his head injury and ensuing mental breakdown. As the treatments continued, Ethan's reality warped further, and his sense of self diminished. The walls of his cell seemed to close in, and the boundaries of time and space became indistinguishable. He was left a hollow shell, trapped in the torment of his own mind, forever disconnected from the world he once knew. The once ambitious man, who had believed he could conquer time itself, was now reduced to a tragic figure in a mental institution, a cautionary tale of how the line between reality and delusion can become dangerously blurred.